This entrepreneur went from working at a studio that unfortunately closed to taking some time off and then eventually finding his way to opening up his new studio. And his story is pretty cool, and what he's trying to do and accomplish in the future is also cool as well. What is up, everybody? We are outside today for the intro because it is a beautiful day and a beautiful life. And there was just a solar eclipse today, so that makes this Monday a little bit special. Welcome back to the Monday Mindset, now brought to you by It's Marketable. I am your host for today, AJ D'Andrea, and today I had the pleasure of speaking with a good friend of mine, Tlee of V1 Studios. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's get it.
Yo, it's Tlee, owner of V1 Studios. Come check it out. We got the Studio A workstation. Get good vibes in here. It's for the big room. There's a lot of guests, coming here, vibe out. Got the lobby, as you can see. We got my favorite room, the big booth, where we can knock out podcasts, artists get their work in. B, coming along nice. Right now we use it for streaming and, different things. And then we got the photography area, different backdrops, whatever a photographer or model needs. They come in here and get it done. They bring a lot of props and different things like that too.
So you're a new business, right? New studio business, but you've been in the game for a long time. Yeah. What was it like when you finally got to open your studio after being an engineer for so long?
Man, as cliche as it sounds, it was really like a dream come true. It's like I've been wanting to do that space, have my own space to just really bring my vision that I had for years to life,
Yeah.
So just real happy with it, I could say.
Yeah. What do you feel like has been some of the biggest trials into being at that point to where you're working with people at a studio into actually owning the studio?
It's more of I would say if something happened, it's on me.
Yeah.
It's nobody you could blame, it's nobody you could anything, you gotta take care of everything. Which, that's what I signed up for, so can't complain about it.
So what do you feel like is the most important aspect of actually owning the studio and building a clientele base?
I feel like with having my own, I got to go out and get these people, these different artists, and find them more at the other studio, it was kind of presented, every day it would be a new, yo, we got a new inquiry, you want it? And it's kind of just a throw it up for grabs, and whoever want it, but now it's I got to go out here and find all these people. Kind of had to start from ground zero, I had a few people come along from that I used to record with, but a lot of the people that I record are new, and that's just all from me just pumping out marketing and doing different things like that.
So you took a long time, from what I understand, from the last time you were at a studio into the time that you started your new studio. It was about a year, I believe.
Yep.
How has that played an impact into how the game has changed just in general in that in that long period of time, I would say?
It took that long because I had to find the right spot. It was a nonstop, everyday search hunt, pretty much, that I was trying to make happen. Ended up, you actually linked me up with the right person that found a place for me. He understood my vision, what I was looking for. Definitely, though, during that year off, I had to just keep myself sharp. Me being an artist / engineer, too, I was able to record myself. I recorded a few other people here and there, but, I was able to keep recording myself just to stay sharp on what I know, keep learning new things, in that time space. I really just wanted to just make sure I stayed up to date, whether that's software, plugins, or whatever it is. So staying ahead of the curve, I guess.
What do you feel like you're actively doing right now to start trying to build that team for you?
Just finding it, since we've opened, it's been like 3.5 months so far. We've been getting a lot of inquiries with different people of, wanting to be an engineer or a producer for the team or a videographer. So I'm just weeding through all of the people that I like their work, that kind of reminds me of mine, and then see how we could just balance that. For instance, right now, we do have 2 engineers. We got a training engineer, which is Ben, and then we got a tier 2 engineer, which is Josh. Mm-hmm. So they do a good job. But right now, we're just trying to expand more and more, get the team, get the right people that match the right fit, pretty much.
Yeah. Given some tougher questions here, the music background I have an understanding of the technology and the way things are moving. There's a valid argument for people that would say that technology has gotten to the point where the studio is becoming obsolete. Obviously, I actually disagree with that,
right.
But I want to hear your take as to why studios are important these days still.
It's a few reasons. One of the main reasons I would say is the vibe. With all the new technology coming out, you got AI that's pumping out songs that you can't tell who did it, if it's real or not. It takes away from the aspect of the artist being a creative himself, pretty much. And I'll give you an example, like somebody makes a Drake AI song, you throw it out there. It's always gonna be that one thing where you can hear like, that's AI probably, not the real deal, you know what I mean? So with that, I say that to mention when you come in the studio, you know, it's authentic. It's you. It's authentic with the artist, and it kind of bounces back off of what I was saying earlier, meaning like it's the vibe that they come in, you working, you able to collab too with somebody. It's not just, you might have this idea in your head, you don't know how to get it out, but that person might be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just pinging off each other when it comes to creating actually in the studio, the look of the studio, the feel, just everything, the sound. You can record yourself at home. Always, you know, I encourage artists, like record yourself sometimes, you know, learn how to do it. But, you know, always get with an engineer who's been, you know, seasoned in the game, been doing it for a minute, that can help you bring that vision out. Because you might know how to do 2 or 3 things and they can do it in a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it makes it worth it, even if you are paying for it. You know, trying to do it all on your own or trying to leave it up to technology and AI, it's always going to be those minor mistakes that you can't do nothing about, and you're just going to have to accept it and put it out, and it's like half of your vision that you wanted, or, you know, something like that. But with you doing it, with working at the actual studio with the engineers, like, you know, everything you want to happen, you can make it happen right here. You don't got to guess and gamble with it.
Yeah. And that's the important thing I think about finding a good engineer like yourself. Obviously, we worked a long time. We learned Pro Tools together. So having that experience, like you trust in the engineer. And one thing that I'll say, because I really, you know, as much as I left music and I, you know, obviously I still DJ here and there, but as much as I left kind of like the whole studio aspect, I used to say that AI was going to take over and do all this stuff. But then, you know, I actually think I got hit with the reality of life, right? And while technology is coming back together quick, I think the big thing is that you can never, no matter what it is, technology, and do everything on your own, right? You can never beat the value of having a network. When the studio shut down and my first business shut down, I had relied on my network that I had built all those years to literally hold me in place, embrace for impact. And I think after learning that, after falling down and, you know, scraping your knee, right? You learn that there's nothing that beats having a network.
Right.
When you come to the studio, you might even be in between a session, and you might just meet somebody there that you saw. The engineer has connections. Ask them about, you know, who you could meet from there, right? There might be events going on that you don't know about. Talking to the engineers there. I promise you, network is priceless. You can't put a price to meeting good people, meeting friends that have a similar vision as you. And I would encourage somebody, if you really want to get better at your craft, go ahead and record yourself, but go to a studio, meet people that are involved in the game, meet good people, right? And you never know how your network might expand to the point where you have more opportunities. It's all about your network. Your network is your net worth. I've learned that. Meeting people is what kept me up, and I think that you can't put a price on that. The studio is still important, and it's going to be important for years to come.
You have a full catalog, just straight hits that you know of, that people telling you about, but, you know, you got to get it out there at the end of the day. And this AI is not going to be able to tell you, like, yo, on the 14th, it's a big show coming up, a showcase, you know, and put you in that position, an engineer could do. You know, so I'll definitely piggyback off that.
You're in a position where you're growing a business. I always have this idea, right, when it comes to businesses. I always tell people, hey, be prepared to lose money your first year, or be prepared to not make anything. Be prepared to work for free, I say. What do you do to keep yourself motivated throughout the overall presence of being a first-year business owner? And where do you see your vision in the future?
I think what keeps me going is knowing, like kind of like you said, like I already accepted. Like once you open a business, like you got your brick and mortar business, just be prepared to lose right away. And it's not a real loss; it's a lesson at the end of the day that you can bring forward. Taking from that, know that it comes with it. Like I kind of said earlier, it's the cost of being a boss. Not everybody's built for it, but the people that are will win and succeed. And I just keep in mind, like, you know, even in downtimes, it might be a slow month or this and that, like, it could be a week where you book 40, 50 hours out of nowhere, which has happened to me before, you know? So, like, I just keep that in mind and always have a goal and a vision and stay true to that. Because without that, you're just going to feel like you just completely lost the sauce, just trying to figure out what's happening, why'd you do this, or, you know what I mean? Like, if you have that vision and you know, like, where you want to be, I'd like to take this to where I have studios in multiple different cities. You know, we got an army of engineers, producers, starting kind of collective, I would say, and just really amping it up to another level to where it's anywhere you need in the country that we can get this done, you know what I mean? And then turning, since I've been doing video for so long, just trying to intertwine that and make that production side bigger and bigger to where we're doing bigger projects that all bounce off under the same name, which is V1.
What's something that you think a lot of artists are making mistakes with, and just the music industry in general?
Honestly, I would say a lot of mistakes that I see from artists, or the main one I see is, I'm gonna keep saying it, not being consistent, not having a schedule, coming up with a schedule, because we know content rules this day and age, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to have everything kind of planned out, mapped out to what you want to do to get where you want to be, I would say. So one, not being consistent. Two, I'm just be real, thinking you're bigger than what you really are already, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta stay true to yourself. You know, some people fake it, but you gotta stay true if you want to make it and stay there, you know? So,
Yeah.
Definitely that. And three would be, it's gonna sound corny, but trying to be like somebody else and not being yourself. Because,
Yeah.
you know, having your own sound, you want somebody to say like, yo, I ain't never heard nothing like this before.
Yeah.
That means you're doing something right. You know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
somebody say, hey, yo, this give me Trippie Redd vibes, you know, then your whole goal out of this was like almost copy his whole flow or something like that, or like take something from him because you seen it work for him, so let you try it. You know, let me try it real quick. That's not the route you want to take. It's not, because it's just going to lead you to a bunch of anger.
Yeah, right. No, that's a good point.
A bunch of anger. So yeah, be yourself.
You've done a lot of stuff in your music career, not only with like videos and stuff like that. Yeah. You've been rapping for a long time. You've done some pretty cool stuff as far as like, you know, when you were managing artists back in the past, you got them some really good opportunities, and like even opportunities yourself. You threw an event, or you've been backstage between, you know, the summer smashes and festivals and stuff like that. What do you feel like you've learned from that, and how are you going to take that into going forward in the music?
Honestly, just seeing, it's good you brought up the Summer Smash, because that's what kind of really opened my eyes to like, okay, yo, you could build something that's bigger than yourself, like bigger than everything, you know?
Yeah.
And watching, shout out Lyrical Lemonade too, watching them go from ground zero to where they are now and so quickly, it just gave me inspiration, straight inspiration just to keep at it, no matter what it is. Like, you know, if you're getting a little bit of buzz, a little bit of feedback, keep at it. Because you don't know where it could take you. It's taking that risk, taking that gamble, and seeing where it takes you, and just being straight up, just a stand-up person. I feel like it'd take you a long way with it.
You know, what does it mean to you to actually start seeing your vision come to life? I know by no means are you anywhere that you want to be in the next few years, but I think you've done something that most people fail to reach, and that's just, one, get started, but two, actually have your own spots where you have the keys, you open the door, and you got a 2-room studio, really 3-room, because you got the whole thing, and then a lobby. I mean, it's a beautiful space. What does it mean to you to actually be able to get to this point to where you have this, and it's like just appreciating the moment, but also, you know, still staying hungry to want more? Honestly,
you just nailed it right on the head. It's like, you know, it's a relief to be able to walk in like, this is my space. I can be here as long as I want. I can, you know, I can spend as much time as I want on something without having to worry about anything and stuff like that. But it's kind of just being like a stress reliever that is mine, you know. But besides that, the downside of that is it's mine. Everything on me, you know. So like, I just know it keeps me motivated to just keep getting it bigger and bigger. And I love that I created something that came from just an idea, just like my other companies and stuff like that, and brought it to life to where you said, like, I got all this extra space. I got creatives coming through. They starting to know me now just for what I'm doing. Yeah. And watching the word travel around is the coolest part about it, I would say. Yeah. For sure. More and more people hitting me up and just knowing that, like, you know, whatever they want to do, I get it done.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to see it grow. And, you know, obviously we work closely together. So there will definitely be more people spreading the word about it in the future. So that's going to be sick. But, yeah, man, it's a pleasure. You know, obviously we've had a long history and stuff like that, from learning Pro Tools together in Oswego, the Vital days and stuff like that.
From me screaming in the booth every day.
Yeah, screaming in the booth every day. He was actually one of the first people that I would record all the time, and we'd be in there for hours. And
locked in.
It's crazy to see how going from that relationship into this, and then into opening your very own studio. Make sure you guys go check out V1 Studios. If you're an artist, tap in with him. I promise you, this guy will get you right. He will get you right. Nothing to worry about on the engineering side. And Brother, thank you again, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
Pleasure, bro. Appreciate you.